Hi, my name is Iván Bobrov and I'm the author of the blog ivanbobrov.com.ua. When I finished school back in 2008, I could not speak English at all. I mean, that it just felt like some sort of subject that you have in school, and I associated with some sort of exams that you had to go through, you had to pass them, and that was it. And the truth is that I couldn't speak English at all after finishing my school. Sure, I had some classes, sure, I went through some lessons, I had taken notes, I'd done all of the sorts of stuff that normally students do, but I couldn't really speak the language. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to do that, how to go about learning languages. And those people who who were able to speak English or who knew different languages were like gods to me, because I felt like, oh my goodness, this guy can speak English, or this guy is able to speak French. He must really learn a lot of stuff about it, and he must really know a lot, be very knowledgeable. So to me, that seemed like a tragedy. But what was even more tragic is that after I finished school and I went into university, which was the University of KPI in 2009, I was shocked because I was terrified by my inability to converse with teachers. I was terrified by my inability to express myself, to write eloquently, and not to make mistakes, because those English texts, that you have, that you see written on paper, those are just terrible, and to me they felt kind of intimidating. So I didn't speak English when I was in my freshman year, because at that time I was a biotechnology student at KPI, at Kyiv Polytechnic University here in Kyiv. And I felt like that was the time for me to make a change. I was terrified by my inability to speak English. I mean, every time whenever I needed to go to my English class, I would be intimidated to have a conversation with the teacher, to speak in front of my class. And I couldn't really understand why I had to go through all this pain, through all this torture. Why should I humiliate myself in front of other students, in front of other people, when I wasn't really prepared, I wasn't really ready to speak English. So one summer, while having my summer break, I realized that was about time for me to make a change. And if I don't do anything, nothing's going to change in my life, and I will not be speaking English for the rest of my life. Well, at least that's what I thought. And so when I was having the summer break, I was staying in Kerch, which is a city in the Crimea, in the which is at the south of Ukraine. And I had a ton of free time for self-development. I had a ton of free time for reading books, and I remember I was really passionate about reading, scientific fiction books, scientific books about chemistry, biology, some novels, short novels, but all of those books were completely in Russian. And after getting sort of fed up with the Russian literature, with the Russian books, I felt like, that would be a good idea to start reading in English, because, I have a free time. I have like a month when I can afford, not to do anything related to my university project. So I just started reading a book, which was a book of Agatha Christie. It was called, as I remember, The Murder on the Orient Express. It's an enormous book, basically in English. And I have to say that I started reading its version, which was made using Ilya Frank's method. This Frank's method, when you have one passage in the original, and plus you have another passage where you get all the explanations, all the words translated, you get everything you need to know about this passage so that you can read it fluently. And I did that, and at the beginning I thought it was great. At the beginning I was really passionate about that book, and at the beginning I thought that I could, oh my goodness, I can understand 70%, I can understand 80% and stuff. But after the first week, things got worse. Things had gotten so worse that it took me about a month to finish the entire book. Trust me, it was a torture. It's a torture for someone who doesn't speak the language, when you really have to, get through the passage and go through every single chapter with so much pain. So to me, that was something that I really wanted to do, and I did complete it. I did finish it, but again, it took me about 1 month to do that. Since then, I've changed a lot of things. Since then, I've changed my approach to language learning completely. I started reading blogs of different polyglots, like Susanna Saraisky, like Luca Lampriello, watching videos of Tim Donor, and also other polyglots who were quite passionate about the same thing I was passionate about. So I realized that I really had to make a change, and I actually did. Because I started watching videos, I started listening to interviews, podcasts, and that's how all of this happened, because I got rid of books. So I wasn't reading books in English anymore, but I was listening and I was watching. And I think that's the exercise that really helped me a lot. And after about 6 months of doing that, I was basically fluent in English. I mean, I could talk to Americans, I could understand what they were saying, I could watch movies, I could watch some American sitcoms, and I think that really helped a lot. After that, there was a different phase when I started watching, complete movies without subtitles, either in Russian or in English, and that also helped a lot. So I wish you to experience the same thing in English. I wish you to realize that English is not as terrifying and imitating as it sometimes seems to be. And if you break through that barrier of, when you're saying, oh, I cannot do this, this language is too difficult, you'll see that there is a whole new world out there that you just have to discover. So try to develop yourself, try to develop your capability to speak the language, grow, learn, and reach your potential. Thank you very much.